Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back for more on our look at Bushido, the way of the samurai. With that said, we'll be doing a few pages here. Still as slow as I read. I'll try not to make it too long, but we'll be doing a few pages. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First section, High Upon High. An old retired swordsman once said, "There are levels in this course of mastery throughout your life. At the lowest level of skill and ability, one thinks of himself and others as poor. He thinks this because he has mastered only a little. Needless to say, a person at this level is not at all useful. At the middle level, one is still useless, but he can at least understand that he and others have mastered only a little. At a high level, since a person has made something his own, he is proud of his accomplishment, and he is also glad of the praise of others. He grieves over the shortcomings of others. This kind of person is at least useful. At a higher level, one pretends to know nothing, yet others understand that he holds an upper hand. The majority of people cannot get beyond this level. Beyond this higher level, there is one further step. The level of the trackless road. If you travel deeper into the trackless road, infinite secrets will finally appear. Then you can never see the end of your mastery. Then you truly realize how lacking you are. You have only to go ahead with your intention of mastery in mind. You go forward without pride and without humility. Yagyu, a swordsman who taught the shogun himself, once said, "I know nothing about how to win over others. I only know the way to win over myself." Your life is something you build every day. You must convince yourself that you have surpassed yesterday. And tomorrow you must feel that you have surpassed today. In this way, there is no end to your mastery. So we're looking at an idea that as long as you understand, don't get too full of yourself. As long as you understand that you can still do better, you can go further. You are not yet at the end of a journey. Then you truly have the ability to keep getting better. Is more or less what he's saying. Don't get so full of yourself that you think you're doing well. Because pride and ego can be a downfall. You must want to and understand that you can keep getting better. to get better. Next section is think lightly on serious matters. A note to Naoshige reads, think of serious matters in a light manner. A footnote to this item by Ite Ishida, a scholar attached to the Nabashima clan, is as follows. Think of trifles in an earnest and thoughtful way. There are only a few considerations that are serious for you. You can make your decision about these few serious matters beforehand in ordinary circumstances. Accordingly, you previously think about these serious matters, and then you have only to take out the previously arrived at conclusions when you need them. On the other hand, if you are not prepared, then it will be difficult to think lightly of grave matters when you meet with occasions on which you have to make an instant decision. At such a time, you will be unable to hit the mark. Therefore, to make your own ground firm is the basis for making your decisions. The above is the basis of the saying, think of grave matters in a light fashion. So, don't let yourself get too panicked or overpowered by issues. If you take your time and you think about them, you can use the same logic you use on other issues. If you're forced to make an on-the-spot decision, there's a good chance you're going to make a mistake. That's at least what I kind of get from what they're saying. The next section is people you can trust. At an official inquiry about a certain samurai's advancement, it was about to be decided that he should not be promoted because he had been an alcoholic. Before the decision was made, someone spoke up. If you abandon those who have made blunders, you cannot hope to make great people out of them. And since they are sorry for their failures, they will try to make up for them. So they will prove more useful later on. Therefore, this man must be promoted. Another samurai asked, do you sponsor him? Of course I do, was the reply. Everyone asked, on what grounds do you sponsor him? I sponsor him because he is the one who once made a mistake. Those who have never made a mistake are in danger. Eventually, the samurai was promoted to a higher post. Again, I feel this is warning of the dangers of pride and ego. Those who have failed, who have made mistakes in their life, can be trusted a little bit more because they understand that, yes, I made the mistake. I must push to make myself better. Those who have made no mistakes, be wary. At least that's what I kind of read into it. Next section is the thinking process. It is not good to keep your own house. After exerting a makeshift effort, it is a mistake to look wise on the level of definitive conclusion or definite conclusion. First, try to get a hold of a seed of thought firmly and see to it that the seed will ripen to bear fruit. All your life you must never stop. Yet it is out of the question to think of any one thought or pattern of thought that you have come across as coming up to the final level. You must try to reject every way as unsatisfactory. You must go on with your mastery. You must seek, as long as you live, to attain the right way. You must keep your mind from resting easy. Within such efforts is hidden the right way itself. And so he's suggesting, you know, don't ever assume you've hit the peak of your abilities. Keep pushing forward, keep trying. Make yourself better. Keep trying to make yourself better. Keep thinking you can make yourself better. And again, that's at least what I read into it. The next section is models to imitate. Ite Ishida, a clan scholar, once remarked, even a bad calligraphy, handwriting, will be fairly improved if a good model is used for imitation. This is true of servants too. If you follow after good servants, you will naturally become a good one too. But if it is true, it is true that today there is not a good servant to model after, since there is no individual who is perfect all by himself. You had better not take one good, strong point from each person to use as your model. In other words, you decide to learn good manners from A, courage from B, oratory from C, good conduct from D, integrity from E, quick determination from F, etc. In this way, you can construct one good model out of individual merits. As far as the tens of thousands of arts are concerned, students tend to imitate their master's weak points rather than his strong points. This is useless. There may be a person who has good manners but lacks honesty. You are likely to imitate and learn the lack of honesty and pay no attention to his good manners. If your eye is able to see good qualities in others who are apparently inferior to you, then they can be your masters, even though they have their shortcomings as well. So yeah. And I'm assuming the idea is don't assume, you know, this or that in a person means everything's good, or even just picking out points is good to follow for them. You have to understand all people have their good sides. Once you do that, then you can truly understand what's good and what's bad in a person, and even potentially within yourself. Again, that's kind of what I get from it. Next section is the puppet show world. The Japanese word maboroshi means vision or dreamlike state. In India, they name masters of magic as vision creators. In the world, everything is like a puppet. Therefore, we use maboroshi. Hmm. That one's kind of hard to define, but I kind of feel like he's saying, don't believe everything you see. It may not be what you think at first. The next section is conduct at the wine feast. A great many samurais fall into disgrace due to heavy drinking. 1,000 pities. First, measure your capacity and keep yourself in check. But you may sometimes find yourself drinking too much. Above all, be on guard all the while you are imbibing wine. Keep yourself prepared to cope with the settlement of unexpected accidents. Remember that the wine feast is a matter of the public world. There are too many eyes present at the feast. You must be cautious. And of course, that just means don't drink so much alcohol that you can't keep your wits about you. If you do ingest too much, you know, try to keep focus. But it's just warning about the consumption of too much alcohol when things may be dangerous. Again, my interpretation. The next section is the use of the high spirit. When you go to look after one who has suffered misfortune, one word is of utmost importance because your inner person may be known by that single word. At all events, samurais are not good when they are worn and dispirited. Samurais are useless unless they have the spirit to rise above the sea of troubles and difficulties. This spirit can encourage other samurais. That means don't go trying to help somebody if you yourself feel down or feel low. You only drag them down further. If you are high spirited and in high hopes, then you can raise their spirit. Last section is, I think this is the last section. Yeah. Lesson from the heavy rain. Here is my lesson from the heavy rain. On your way, you meet a shower. You dislike to get wet, so you hurry along the streets, running under the eaves. Still, you get wet all the same. As long as you accept that you will get wet, you won't suffer from being wet. Um, and my kind of interpretation is that even if things happen bad, understand and accept them so that you don't make them worse by fretting over them. And that is where we'll stop. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, and learn. Someone tries to make a point that you do not believe, ask them to cite their sources. If they cannot cite a credible source, there's no reason you really need to believe them at that point. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.